Okay, another quick episode. Just kind of want to give a quick update on how things are going after the rebuild. We got it running right now. Just did another transmission fluid check. I like to check it multiple times because I do have the thermostat block on the transmission, so the cooler doesn't get activated until it hits 140. And so when you check the fluid the first time, you're supposed to check it between 95 and I believe it's like 113 or somewhere around there. So if you instantly start it up after doing any type of transmission work, especially since I had the cooler basically not really removed, but I had the lines removed, so that cooler ended up draining. So in that instance, if I don't wait till it hits up to 140, it may not actually fill the cooler up. So if I were to check the fluid, it may end up being low. So I tend to end up checking the transmission fluid multiple times. Plus we also put a new torque converter in there. It was pre-filled. They said, I tried to dump it out to see how much they put in there, and I was going to put some fresh, Blue Label in there. I didn't get very much to come out. I did put another quart in it just in case. So it did not start dry, just in case there wasn't anything in there. But I went ahead and, we put that in there. Did all this other stuff. So I just like to check it multiple times. So this is probably about maybe the fourth time I've checked it, and we're still good. So I'm going to go ahead and say the transmission's good for now. I've checked around. I don't see any leaks. Everything seems to be doing pretty well. Those that remember, we had that oil O-ring issue with the block that comes with the oil pan. So I've double checked that multiple times. I don't see anything coming out of it. I'm still running some old oil in here. Not necessarily old, but it was when I was kind of making sure everything was good. So I'm going to give it a couple more days. I'm not really doing anything strenuous to it. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump that out, do a quick check, make sure, the oil looks good. Don't see any type of flakes or anything in it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put something a little better in there. This was just some Walmart Super Tech oil. It wasn't anything, like Castrol and all that. I mean, it meets spec. It's not, I'm not saying it's a horrible oil. I'm just saying that I like to run something a little bit more brand name. I think I have a bottle of Castrol Syntec that I'm probably going to throw in there for now. And I got a new filter as well. So we're going to do, just an oil change to get some fresh oil in there. Just take a look around and make sure things are good. The new PCV setup seems to be working pretty good. Definitely looks way cleaner in here. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. So we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, the new catch can setup, new PCV line seems to be working really well. Haven't had any issues with that. I haven't messed with that anymore. Basically, I've just been driving this thing. I did get an alignment just to make sure that my toe was out when I had the rack down. It's very hard to get the rack to go exactly where it was before. So anytime you drop the steering rack, or at least take the bolts out, I typically recommend getting an alignment, or at least getting it verified. But everything else was good. It was just the toe was slightly off because I did drop that rack. But it's all good now. Alignment. I did get my tires rebalanced. So I've taken it on a few test drives, and I did get some more vibration. It was very, very faint, but my app was actually reading tires, not a drive shaft. There was still a slight drive shaft, but it was nowhere near what it was before. And so I went ahead and got the tires balanced. They were out of balance, maybe from it sitting I don't know, but they're good now. I never had tire balance issues getting picked up by the app before, but we did. I did go ahead and just have those rebalanced after picking that up, just to rule those out. There's not actually a vibration that I can feel anymore, but I do still have this kind of, I don't want to say crunching, but it's definitely an issue you can feel about 60 to 70. I don't feel it above 70. I'm going to be digging back into the rear end. I think I've discussed that in the last video, showed pictures of the thrust block. I did have some funky looking wear on the gears. I didn't run a pattern on them when I had the cover off, but I wanted to hurry up and get this thing back together. But I have some parts coming. I did go ahead and I've drawn up the thrust block. I think I've shown the thrust block in previous videos. The last video I did show a picture of mine and how worn it was. What I've done is I've actually drawn that in CAD. I've sent it to a few machine shops, and I got one that quoted me. It's pretty substantial, but their bulk pricing is very good. So I went ahead and ordered one, and it's going to be made of bronze instead of aluminum. Those that don't know, bronze is still a softer than steel metal. It's typically what they make shift forks out of, like in motorcycle, like my motorcycle, not that one, but my previous motorcycle. I did have to rebuild the trans in that, and all the shift forks were bronze in that. And when that wears, it won't destroy other gears because it's a softer metal than what the gears are made out of, which is pretty much why I assume they use aluminum for that thrust block, so that if it wears, it won't destroy gears. But my main concern is I don't like the way that thrust block's moving. I'm not sure if that's my issue. It does kind of feel like maybe I'm feeling the spider gear maybe chipping away at that thrust block. I'm not entirely sure. You know, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is because it's very, very faint and it's not vibrating or anything, so it's definitely something kind of crunching. That's kind of the best way I could describe it, but it's not loud. It's very, very, very faint. But now that, you know, I kind of keep my bunny ears open per se, and any little nuanced sound I'm privy to. So I've got that block coming. It should be here probably not till April. It's mid-May now. I'm sorry, mid-March. It takes, I think they said 16 days to get that done and shipped. So that's coming. I'll do a video on that, even though it's, I mean, I'm going to still include it in like a swap episode. But we're going to go ahead and I'm probably going to just tear the whole rear apart and inspect everything. And I might put new gears in it. I do have new gears coming. I will pattern what I have in there and kind of see how things look, see if something else may be going on. Pull it apart. I'm going to inspect all the bearings. I'll inspect pretty much everything, make sure that's looking good. My oil change, I think I covered in the last video. There was quite a bit of aluminum deposits in there. It was pretty much anti-seize fluid, which is an indication that that thrust block is wearing. But just kind of wanted to discuss that. That will occur. Tuning, I've gotten quite a few revisions. Tuner says things are looking pretty dang good. I'm gonna go run another log right now. Still want to tweak the transmission shifting and stuff like that. It's not that it's hard, it's just that it kind of, when I'm doing kind of low speed cruising, it's not really shifting. It's almost shifting too much. I think he might have some fuel efficient kind of tuning in there for kind of low speed cruising. So it kind of just starts jumping up gears a little more than what I kind of like. I kind of like having, you know, a gear available. So I'll talk to him about, you know, kind of tweaking that. But other than that, we're running pretty good. But yeah, I wanted to kind of show how smooth. I mean, this thing is running so much smoother than it was before. I mean, I can't even begin to say how good, how great of an experience this has been with this new tuner. You know, granted, I've put him through the ringer with all these, you know, oil pressure issues that kind of sparked up on us. But that wasn't really anybody's fault. It's more of just, you know, that's what happens when you get an unknown, you know, engine from a vehicle that you have no idea the history of, you have no idea what it's been through. And, you know, looking back on things I probably should have dug in maybe a little bit more and replaced a little bit more when I did the cam swap initially. But that's in the past. Looking on to the future, and we'll just keep going and get this thing back on the trails, which hopefully will be pretty soon. I think we're pretty much set to the point that once I kind of figure out this kind of we'll call it the crunching issue, we should be golden. But I'll keep you guys updated on that, because, you know, I'm gonna probably, even though we're kind of done with the swap, I want to keep the channel going and kind of keep reporting on how things are going with the truck and how the longevity and how this truck basically does as I start, you know, taking it out and using it as I bought it and intended to use it from the get-go. So once again, anybody have any questions or anything, let me know, and I'll try to address it in a video or a comment. And we'll keep moving forward and get this thing